Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a problem that has been plaguing buyers looking to enter the market for a long time now, and that is low inventory. Buyers out there sadly have not had a lot to choose from over the last couple of years, and the problem is seemingly continuing into 2023. And we're going to talk about that this morning. We're going to talk about what caused it a little bit, where we're at right now, more in the local view in the greater Hamilton area, and maybe where things might go forward in the remainder of the year. RE/MAX Canada President Chris Alexander did an interview with the Financial Post that talks about the problem that is very widespread, that it is shockingly low, the amount of homes that we have on the market. And this could be happening for a number of reasons. It could be happening because many sellers just don't want to put their home on the market right now. Maybe they feel like they cannot afford the home that they would ultimately buy if they did sell their home, and also an increase in buyer demand. We've seen the Bank of Canada has actually stopped for the moment their rate increases, and this tends to build buyer confidence. We're starting to see a lot more people entering the market again, which is exacerbating this issue of low supply. Then you have other things like canceled projects of new homes. A stat recently is that 39,000 projects or units have been put on hold because of lower sales. So all of this adds to the low inventory problem. Well, what happens when inventory is low and there's many buyers looking at these properties? Prices do not go down. They tend to stay where they are, if not increase. Now, one thing that was brought out in this interview is that where we were in the peak of the market with incredibly low interest rates versus where we are at now with about a 20 to 21% decrease in house prices, but with an increase in interest rates, is the carrying cost to buyers is very similar. Whereas now the down payment is less, the land transfer tax is less. So in many ways, the cost to get into the market for these buyers is very similar, and buyers are very interested in what it costs monthly. So this is why I think we're seeing a lot of these buyers enter the market, which is keeping the market trucking ahead. Now, how are we doing in the Hamilton area when it comes to inventory? I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see exactly how we calculate this month's of inventory. Now, before I do that, let me explain a little bit what it means. So if you have 100 homes for sale right now and 100 homes sold in the last 30 days, that would be 1 month's worth of inventory. So if no more homes were listed for sale and sales continued along the same way, all those homes would be gone in 30 days. That's a simple way of calculating it. Now, the lower that number is, the lower months of inventory indicate a strong seller's market. As we get up between 3 to 5 months, we start to see a balanced market, and over 5 months, we're in a buyer's market. So let's take a look at how we're doing in the Hamilton area right now. So looking at my screen here, you can see that I have active properties checked off here. I've left the price empty, so we're just going to look at all of Hamilton together, and I have Hamilton checked off. That's the only one that I have. Left everything else alone, and I do have freehold. So we're just going to look at freehold properties right now. So that leaves us with 671 current active properties. Now, I'm not going to put in the conditionally sold and active no showing properties because I'm just looking at how many are currently active. Those ones are no longer active at this point in time. They are off the market as conditions are being fulfilled, and I want to see how we compare to the number of solds. So if I unselect active and I go into solds, just in the last 30 days, that's all I want to know, brings us down to 416 sales. So when you take the 671 actives and you divide that by 416 sales, that brings you to 1.62 months worth of inventory. Now, to put that in perspective, during the peak of the pandemic, we were under 1 month's worth of inventory. It was that quick. But 1.62 months worth of inventory is still in seller territory. Now, this gets a little bit more interesting once we change the price point. So if we now go back up here and let's switch back to actives, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go under $1 million. So we're gonna go 1 million and under. Okay, so let's see how these numbers change. So still everything else is the same. Now we're down to 424 active properties. Keep that number in mind, 424. And then let's go back here to number of sales, 337 sales. So that brings a month's worth of inventory down to 1.25 months. So what does this mean? It means that obviously the cheaper the property is, the lower the price range, and this is because so many buyers are qualifying for less, that these are the properties that are being targeted the most. These are the properties that buyers are shopping for the most. So we have 1.25 months of inventory. Now, let's take a look at what happens as soon as we go 1 million plus. 1 million plus, let's go back to active here. We have 248 actives. Okay, 248 properties that are available over $1 million that are freehold. And then when we switch back to solds, last 30 days, 79. So 79 have sold. That brings you to 3.13 months worth of inventory. Now this is a very different market. And what we're seeing is still definitely on the lower end of a balanced market. But if this is the price range you're shopping at, you will definitely have a lot more to choose from. You'll have more bargaining power and you'll have a better time negotiating a deal because there's just more to choose from in that price range and there's less buyers. So will this change going forward? Well, nobody knows. Nobody knows for certain, but if projects are still remaining to be canceled, if the Bank of Canada does not continue, like if they just stay in the holding pattern and they do not raise interest rates any longer, I do see this being a persistent problem for a while. Now that said, January, February, March tend to be the most active times of the year historically. That is our spring market. As soon as the warmer weather comes around, there tends to be more inventory available, but there's also more buyers. So we're yet to be seen exactly what the future holds as far as if that inventory will make it to the market. But I'd love to know what you think. Will we see more inventory? If we do, will we see prices drop? Leave a comment below in the comment section, and I would love to hear what you think. Again, I'm Tyson Brandow with Remax Escarpment. If you found this information helpful, consider subscribing and liking this video. It would help us out a lot. Take care, everyone. Until next time.